So people always ask me the question, is Spain racist? I've lived in 3 different places in Spain. I've lived in Santa Cruz de Tenerife, I've lived in Granada, and I've lived here in Sevilla. And to be completely honest with y'all, I have definitely had some racist encounters living here. I've been called the N-word a few times. I've seen blackface for sure. And I've definitely received my fair share of stares and just little slight comments said under people's breath. But you have to think that there's only a 2% population of black people that live here. So they're not exposed to black American culture. Most of the black people that they see here are coming from African countries like Senegal, like Gambia. The reality is that living here as a black person, you have to have tough skin.
I said to myself that I must make this video before I go back inside. 10 years ago, I had my niece that was begging me that he want to come to Europe. That was when I was still living in Italy. She begged me. I told her, don't come. Europe is not what you think. Don't come, my sister. But she keep insisting. After a while, I heard that she have entered. She entered through road. I was saying, okay, congratulations to her. Then she stopped. She wasn't talking to me as I'm talking to you now. This is 10 years back. She have not talked to me. She have not spoke to me since that time. I have called her mom. I have tried to speak to her mom, to talk to her, to make her understand. Because of that, I don't really know what is the issue. Since that time, she have not talked to me. She decided not to talk to me. Okay, what is the reason why I'm making this video? It's not because of my sister, but I'm making this video because of people that whenever you are telling them what you are going through in this Western world, they tell you to come back home. I find out that our people will hate truth. We hate to hear the fact. Whenever you tell them the truth, they will start telling you, come back home. If it's not good, why are you still there? We are like those birds, those chicken that they normally catch with corn, or maybe those bush chicken. That the people will put something to cover road, cover the place. The chicken will fall inside there because of one piece of chicken, with one piece of corn. Another one will come again. Another chicken will come again. Will fall inside that same place just because of one piece of corn. It will be saying that if it is not good, why didn't my brother or my sister come out from that place, which is the chicken? This is exactly what we are going through here. Because of pride, we that live in abroad, we have this pride. We don't want to come back home so that we can tell ourselves the truth. Because we that live in abroad, we have this pride. Then the people that live in Nigeria, they have this greediness. Even as you are giving them, they see feel that it's better for them to come. Then you that live in this Western world, you are keep telling them that this place you are is not what they think it is. They should take it easy, that the little you are giving to them is better than for them coming here, that we are suffering here. They will not believe it. They tell you that if it's not good, why did you come back? This is what I keep hearing every day by day. Then I come to a conclusion that what is our problem is greediness, and greediness is our problem, which is people that live in Nigeria. Then we that is living here is pride. We that live in the Western world, it's pride. Because all we need to do is for us to pack our bag and baggage and go back home. But we cannot do it because we feel that we have come. There's nothing we will do. We have to stay. So for that reason, we keep receiving those insults. We keep receiving those shame and every other thing. Look at me. It's raining right now. It's not just raining. In the morning, it was snowing everywhere, full. In this area you see here. But right now, I'm coming back home. I left my house this morning. This is me. I'm coming back home. It's dark. I think I will still go work tomorrow, right? So, but when you are telling them, they will not believe you. They will not believe you. It is okay, no problem. All of us will continue to see that which we wanted to see. And that is the reason why you see many people ask their brother or their sister, they're there to come. They will invite them to come. When they will come, they see that thing, they think that it is, that sweet thing, they see that it's not how it is. If you want to come to Europe, come. The door is open. Just come. Because a lot of people have talked, but nobody wants to listen.
I'm an American who just moved here to Berlin, and this vitamin D deficiency stuff is crazy. You guys don't know, out here in Germany, or I guess Eastern Europe, that the sun doesn't stay up here that long, especially during the wintertime. So the sun, when it rises, it probably stays up until like what, maybe around 4 or something, maybe. And because the sun is not out that long, you don't get that much vitamin D. If you don't get enough vitamin D, your body cries. And I didn't know how important vitamin D was. I mean, I did know, but I didn't know how important it was until I moved here. So like the first time I encountered this vitamin D deficiency, depression, whatever, you know, I'm thinking like, oh, all right, I'm getting sick. You know, I'm going through some cold or something. So I started taking medicine. So I went through like probably 10 tablets of ibuprofen, and I was still feeling sick. So after this, I'm thinking like, yo, how sick am I? Do I got like cancer or something? This is crazy. And so it got to a point where that was the only thing I could talk about to everybody. I'm like, yo, look, my body is like failing me because I'm taking all this medicine, still nothing's changing. And then all my friends who have lived here in Berlin, they were like, oh yeah, that's typical. Yeah, the weather's changing or it's the winter, so that happens. This is typical for your body to just fail on you like this. Okay, Berlin, you got it. You got it as probably one of the most depressing winters that might exist.
Since I'm American and live in Norway, people ask me all the time, what is the best thing about living in Europe? Well, if I had to choose
Well, as a black person, I definitely don't fit. I don't feel like I belong. I feel like an immigrant, basically, even though I was born here. I'll tell you that much.
What do you think are certain things that have contributed to that feeling?
The way I'm treated, job.
Goes on, man, the racism, man, but it's very political the way they go about it.
This is being a black person in this country. It's just my personal experience on a day-to-day, how people treat you, how people look at you on the train, on the bus. You know, definitely work is a big contributor to that you're an outsider.
As a black American living abroad in Norway, I can confirm this statement. They don't discern between black Americans and white Americans. Everyone's just American, and we're all annoying. I've never been addressed as a black American. I've never been addressed as a black guy. At least not first. If I am addressed as that, it's not first. The first thing they're gonna say is there's the American. And I think that's really refreshing coming from America where everything is about race. Everything is black or white or whatever. And then you come out here and it's like, you know, they'll be like, oh yeah, you know the American that works at that bar? Nobody's gonna say the black guy that works at that bar. Even when I lived in the north of Norway and there was like very few black people, still nobody's gonna say, oh, the black person. They're gonna say the American. And I gotta say that is refreshing because I am an American. I am American. I'm proud to be from America. And that is how I should be addressed, as the American, because America. It's all good if you want to say that Americans are annoying. We know it, but we can't help it. That's just who we are.
When I was in Europe, I did notice a lot of Africans cosplaying as black Americans, and it was one of the craziest things for me to like wrap my head around it until I realized it's because they have certain benefits that come with being a black American.
The idea that Africans in Europe are cosplaying black Americans to gain privilege is so ridiculous and such an obvious grift that I'm actually sad and so many people in the comment section take the creator's word and believe it's true. I don't even really know what that means and what he's claiming he's clocking in terms of cosplaying black Americans. What is true is that being American supersedes your race when you go abroad. You will receive privileges just for being American that you wouldn't receive if you were just black in those spaces. That is really true. But as someone who's also been to Europe multiple times, who's also black, who's also American, I can tell you that what he is claiming doesn't make sense on any level, which is probably why he doesn't include any examples about what that actually looks like. If we assume people are dressing like black Americans, I don't really know what a black American type of dress is. Anything I could guess would be probably very stereotypical. But even if we go down that line, I've never seen people dressing up as stereotypical black Americans, whatever your mind imagines that to be. If you're assuming, well, they're speaking in AAVE or, using black slang. 2, that doesn't make any sense either, because the majority of European countries that African immigrants are going to do not have English being predominantly spoken. Those immigrants are typically prioritizing speaking the language of that country. So that usually means they're not speaking AAVE. And if we were to conjure up an idea of them actually doing that, they would sound evidently not American. They would sound like an African immigrant speaking with whatever country accent they have in AAVE, hence not getting that cultural privilege or whatever from being American. The only thing I can guess this creator thinks is an example of Africans cosplaying being American is this comment that he liked. I guess Africans don't roller skate. I don't know. It is really, really shameful that another black person is trying to use their platform to start yet again another diasporic war in their comments to increase engagement. I really don't know what the background or the motivation is. But the xenophobia between Africans and black Americans and other parts of diaspora just needs to stop. Or if honestly, if that's what you need to be entertained, at least fall for a more believable lie.
Hey, my name is Taylor, and I'm a black girl living, working, and studying in Italy, and I've been living in Italy for the past 2 months, and here are some of the things that were a huge cultural shock to me as someone who was born and raised in the United States. The first thing that was a huge cultural shock to me moving to Italy was that Italians tend to eat dinner later in the evening. So most restaurants in Italy won't open till 7:30, and some restaurants don't even open to 8:30. It really depends on the area that you're in and how your town operates. Growing up in our household, dinner was really eaten whenever dinner was finished or being prepared, and that usually was before 7 o'clock. The second thing that was a huge cultural shock to me moving to Italy was how much Italians rely on the train system. And this is coming from someone who now, since living here, I rely regularly on the train system myself. I grew up in Houston, and while Houston does have a transportation system, it's really not that good. And let's be honest, the transportation system in the US is really trash. Like, it's super trash. And so moving from a country where the transportation system isn't that great to a country where people actually rely on the train system is absolutely amazing. And while the trains here do have its cons, for the most part, the train system here in Italy is very, very reliable. The third thing that was a huge cultural shock to me was how much Italians smoke. Now, I knew how much Europeans smoked prior to me visiting Italy a couple months ago, but now that I'm living here, I'm realizing how much they smoke. From the youngest I've seen, probably being 12, to the oldest person I've seen, like well into their 90s, Italians will smoke. That is their way of life. That is a part of their culture. They will be sitting outside and they will light up a cigarette or whip out a vape. I kid you not. I literally was in town at a sandwich shop for lunch. This lady had her baby in the little vest thing. She pulled out a blunt, like a weed blunt, and smoked it. Now, weed is not legal in Italy from my understanding, but Italians do what they want. They don't care, and I love that. The fourth thing that was a huge cultural shock to me moving to Italy was how much Italians love dogs. You will see dogs everywhere. I'm talking in the restaurant, at the park, in the church. People here love dogs and respect dogs, and here dogs are considered like a member of the family. Like, I mean, yeah, back in the States it's like that, but see, here in Italy you can bring a dog into a restaurant even if your dog is not a service dog or an ESA dog and it's just your pet. You can bring it inside of a restaurant. That's just how they do it here. Animals are a huge part of their culture, and animals here are highly respected in society. So I'm probably going to end up doing parts of these because there are so many things that were a huge cultural shock to me. But I couldn't end this video without talking about the biggest cultural shock to me was how much Italians take care of their well-being. That can be from work and our school. And this is coming from someone, again, who came from a country where your well-being, especially in this mega capitalist society, is not prioritized nor talked about. Coming to a country where they take, I don't really want to say the word siesta, but they take siesta time very seriously. Shops will close, restaurants will close, schools will close midday and open later in the day, or maybe not open till tomorrow, or whenever they feel like opening, to take a lunch break, to take a nap, to spend time with friends and family, including your pets. That's just mind-boggling to me, because back in the US, that's not a thing unless you are a small business owner. That's really it. But here, even the larger businesses do that, and I just find that really awesome. And I love that, because now that I live here, I also take my siesta time very seriously.
So today's video is very interesting, and I know you are going to love it, guys. It's all about the black people, and we are specifically going to talk about black Americans who are living in Europe, and the truth that they don't normally tell you. So it will be a mixture of both the black Americans and the black people in general, right? So, my good people, you see, everywhere in the world, be it America, Australia, Africa, you know, most people think that Europe is an escape route whereby you'll actually achieve your dream. You'll have to get a better job. There is less racism, that's their belief, and that it's more peaceful over there. But again, if you speak to the black Americans who are there, or the black people, if you hear them speaking, even from our clips today, you can literally see that they are going through a lot, and it's not what you really think. So you may ask yourself, like, what's really going on with these people? And in the first place, we need to understand why black Americans do move to Europe. So many of them are actually tired. They are tired of racism. Black people are tired of violence. The black people are tired of the system that is really unfair to them. So most of the time you'll actually find them looking for peace abroad. They are looking for a destination that will make them feel like they are at home. They want to get a better healthcare facility. They want safer streets and better work life experiences. So at some point you'll see these people feeling less anxious than when they are in America. That is after they leave. And honestly, it's disheartening, you know. So the reality is that moving to Europe does not erase racism at all. It just changes how it looks, you know. So if you look at the black people, they do face racism, and it's sad, you know. So it's really hard, because racism is everywhere. Honestly speaking, that is the truth, and Europe is not exempted. It just hides the racism in a very different way, and in many places, racism are not that loud. They are quiet, systemic, they are cultural, unspoken, and you know that will kind of confuse people to make them feel like this place is well. So when many black people go to Europe, they do expect a sigh of relief, but instead they get a lot of confusion, because you know Europe doesn't talk about race the same way that America does. You know, in America it's open, people don't hide it. It is discussed, it is debated. But if you look at Europe, most of the time it's ignored, as much as the black people do face this racism a lot. And of course, those countries that really practice it, in those countries, you will feel like, you know, racism doesn't exist here, but it does. So If you are an American, it's really interesting to learn that many Americans do stay in Europe. And when they're there, they are actually viewed or appreciated as American first and not black first. So it's interesting how things get to turn. Anyway guys, I'm so tired. I'll see you in the next video.